Hey, good evening, YouTube. Thank you so much for joining my channel again. This is JL. Today's video, we are going to be going into the specifics about me and mining Ravencoin. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and roll the video. So guys, today's video is going to be, like I said, we're going to be mining Ravencoin. Now, I'm sure you guys are already aware of that there are plenty of other coins to mine out there. There is Ethereum, there is Flux, there is Conflux, there is, Ergo. So there's quite a few out there. And you know, right now, Ravencoin may not be the most quote-unquote profitable coin, but a little later in the video, I'll be getting into specifically why I'm doing that. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, guys, I do have a few things I want to address just about my videos in general. I do understand that, you know, I'm having some sound issues. Maybe the title sequence is a little overpowering, and then maybe the sound is not capturing as well as I would like to, as far as my microphone, my actual voice. Again, as I grow this channel a little bit, I'm going to try to get a little better at that. Hopefully my video editing skills can get a little better where I can really work with that volume, maybe kind of change it up a little bit. So hopefully I can get a little bit of a nightstand soon. I did reposition the camera a little bit so that I'm a little closer to the desk here. Again, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Pardon me, just unplugged that. However, again, hopefully everything works here okay. Hopefully I can still, you guys can hear me well. Eventually I'll try to get a mic stand, make it a little more convenient so I don't have to hunch over all the time. But again, hopefully you guys can hear me just okay there. Now, other thing I want to address, lid of the day. Or again, that's what I may coin it right now. Got the sriracha hat on, matching shirt. You know, I didn't get it at the same time. I got the hat after, but again, I have a lot of hats. I think I would like to make it a little bit of a, not a daily thing, but maybe some for every video wearing a different hat. Just for fun, no other reason, just to have a little bit of fun. I actually put a little bit of maybe a poll in the community forum, maybe just take your comment in the comments of this video. If you guys have any ideas, what might be a good little term, little title for that. Lid of the day, hat of the day, the daily lid, something like that. Maybe not daily because it's likely not going to be daily videos, but something along those lines. And on the subject of daily videos or otherwise, I do also want to address the consistency of my videos. Again, guys, I'm starting out a little newer on the channel, newer to YouTube, still trying to work out the kinks of making some good quality videos for you guys, in the very least, you know, trying to do the best what I can do within my power. That being said, my first start off may not be super consistent as far as how often I release the videos. For right now, while I'm just kind of getting started, kind of really still introducing you guys to a lot of what I'm working with and what I have, may stick more along the lines of maybe 4 days, maybe about 4 days in between each video, give or take 3 to 4 days. Again, I still work my 9 to 5 job. I have a few other things on my plate, life happens, so other things may get in the way. But as we start growing, as I start maybe eventually being able to direct more funds to getting other GPUs, eventually actually maybe building an open air rig system, maybe we'll go from there as far as maybe being able to release more consistent videos. But for right now, that's all it is for that, you know, previous part of the video. Let's get into what you guys came for, going over Ravencoin. Why am I doing Ravencoin? So what I would like to discuss first is why I am doing Ravencoin specifically. And I think the best way to go about it before I get into the nitty-gritty of that is what hardware am I currently working with, and then kind of go into the profitability of there, because we'll kind of be able to go on what to mine and see what we have available there. So if you guys saw my last video, we went over my current rig. I have a 1080 Ti hooked up to my normal gaming PC. Now, again, my consistency as far as mining Ravencoin since September 10th, which is probably when I started mining Ravencoin, hasn't been super consistent because I've still been experimenting, changing things around. I have to mess with my overclock settings. I was still testing, hey, how much am I getting for Ethereum if I'm mining that? I've been trying Flux out. I also been trying, again, like I said, Ravencoin. Now, however, I actually have 3 bits of hardware, which I'm going to be planning on mining on everything. Now, you've already been introduced to the 1080 Ti. What you may even see over here in the background here, right below that TV, is actually my, I have a gaming laptop. I had an old gaming laptop, probably got about 2 to 3 years ago, for what you would expect gaming, of course. Just got into mining this year, so that never even thought to cross my mind. Actually, I've been collecting dust for a little bit, believe it or not. Again, I have a gaming PC, so I usually didn't touch it as often. But it has a 1060, 6 gigabyte of DDR memory, I believe, virtual memory on the graphics card on there, I believe. So I thought, hey, we may as well try to pop that up on there. And I'll go ahead and I will pop up maybe some screenshots later of what I took when I'm getting my hash rate on Ravencoin. I am mining on there. It's just been sitting up there for probably the past week on and off, just passively mining Ravencoin, maybe show off for a little bit to experiment with a few others, try to check the hash rate, but I think more consistently, more often than not, it's been sitting on Ravencoin. So what I will get into now is the other piece of hardware. Now, before I had upgraded to my 1080, I had actually had on this original rig, because I bought this rig actually pre-bought when I first got my gaming PC, and this probably had to be in 2017, probably 2017, 2018, maybe a little bit before. So if you see this little graphics card right here, I actually have a 1050 Ti. Now, and again, you guys are familiar with a lot of these NVIDIA series graphics cards. You know that, okay, the 1050 Ti, it's not super, it's not the best thing ever. It's not going to get you a lot. It's got a really low hash rate. I think for Ravencoin, the website, what to mine lists it maybe about a 6.97 hashes per mega hashes per second, something like that. It's really not significant at all. However, again, I have another PCI X16 slot still available on my motherboard, on my main rig. So we are actually going to also, within the span of this video, may take a few days to actually get everything filmed and what have you, but we're actually going to go ahead and add the graphics card to that, try to get everything up and running, make sure for when it runs smoothly. I just got a PCI, power cable so I can attach it because I didn't have a spare, unfortunately. So that finally came in. Definitely wanted to wait for that to come in so I can make this video for you guys. We are going to go ahead and be attaching a 1050 Ti onto that. We'll be checking the hash rates and everything else. First, actually, I will want to now kind of go into, again, what I have been getting so far between my 1080 and then my 1060 on my gaming laptop. And just so you know, we'll probably go into, I'll make a little separate video on the laptop itself, seeing, hey, maybe mining on a gaming laptop, maybe if you have one lying around, is that profitable anyway? Is it usable? Is it even worth it? And I may make a separate video on that, going into the real profitability of that, power, everything else included. However, guys, so let's go ahead. Let me try to pull up. We got what to mine over here. Just give me a second. Okay, everybody. So hopefully you can see everything that I have on my screen right now. Again, obviously I'll take a look over everything and edit it if everything is not good to go and all kosher. So right now I have my 1080 running. It's been running up for a little bit now, but I've been getting about 18 mega hashes per second on my 1080. Now, I actually took a screenshot of my 1060 on my gaming laptop. So right now, and please don't mind the temperature. I'm aware that that should not be the best temperature to keep it at. However, I'm a little limited because again, it's not the most efficient fan. And again, might be able to make a later video on kind of what I did to be able to kind of get this to work on my gaming laptop. However, so we're getting about 8.37. I just averaged it out to like 8 mega hashes per second on this one. Now keep in mind, I'm not overclocking this at all. I did try fiddling with the overclock settings on the laptop a little bit, but again, because they're built in, they're kind of I think this proprietary software, so usually the developers or the people who make the cards usually kind of I would even say a bit of a locking mechanism where it's a little more, you don't have as much room to kind of deal with the overclock settings and the voltage on a laptop as you would, say, for example, my 1080 Ti and the power supply on there. Now, I'm getting this at about 18 mega hashes per second and about 168 watts. By the way, the laptop, not taking up much wattage at all. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong window there. Let me actually pull this up here again, just so you guys can see. So here, actually, the laptop was only pulling out about 78 watts. So even though the hash rate wasn't the best, it wasn't crazy good, it actually did pretty okay as far as power usability and the efficiency and what have you. So now actually we'll go ahead and actually pull up what to mine and kind of compare everything that we just saw there. So you already see that I have the 1080 hooked up. Now if you can't recall, on the 1080, again, we're mining Ravencoin, so that of course is using the kawpow algorithm, and that's getting about 16.9 mega hashes on about 160 watts. So if you look down here and you see the profitability of that, Ravencoin's a bit down there. Ravencoin's a bit down there. It's $1.69. You know, according to this, I could probably be making a little more per day, about 40 cents, maybe even up to $1 a day, depending if I decide to mine Ethereum or Flux. And again, however, I'll go a little bit more as to why I'm doing Ravencoin specifically. However, let's look at everything else. You know, let's take a look at the laptop. We got 1060, so let's go ahead and go and get to 1060. Kind of see what we're dealing with the 1060. Now again, using the kawpow algorithm, because that's what's running Ravencoin, we get in about 9 mega hashes per second, about 90 watts. So, and again, Ravencoin's a little bit down here, about 89 cents a day. You could probably get off that. You know, so 89 cents, and Ravencoin, I believe now, if I'm not mistaken, Ravencoin is probably going to about 10 cents. I know we just had a dip recently, but let's take a coin market cap really quick. We can kind of check into that. So Ravencoin got ranked 92 in market cap right now. It's about 10 cents. So 90 cents a day at about 10 cents. You know, you're probably getting about 9 Ravencoins within a 24-hour period, and that's at least according to this. So really, let's take a look here. And I actually got my dashboard so you can kind of see everything here. Obviously, you can see I got these two guys mining Ravencoin right this second. This thing is reporting about 15 megahash per second and 6.7. Again, my 1080 Ti is actually running about 18. So again, whenever you guys have these pools, know that these are usually averaged rates, so you know what your computer or what your miner is saying may not necessarily reflect what's going on over in the pool. Again, the accuracy can also depend on the pool you're using. You have fly pool, you have 2 miners, you have a few different ones depending on specifically what you are mining. So with my daily earnings so far, what I'll actually just show, because again, I've only been mining Ravencoin since about September 10th. It's a 22nd today, so hasn't been too long. It's only been about 12 days. Now, if you're talking about my payouts, here's my payouts. You can see a little graph here. They kind of tell you, hey, this is when you've been getting your payouts. Now, RVN, you know, you get about 10 RVN every payout. It only takes you pretty much $1, right? 10 cents each Raven, you can get about $1, right? So each payout's about $1. Got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got about 8 payouts here. And I got 8 payouts pretty much across a span of about 12 days. Now, again, I haven't been paid today. We're about to actually, if you see up here, we're about to kind of, I got an unpaid balance. I'm probably before the end of the day, I'm probably going to get paid out. So y'all probably before midnight be able to see that payout go on there, and I'll probably get another 10. But so far, I've earned about 80 Raven. Now, I'll go into specifically why, right? Why am I mining Ravencoin versus Ethereum versus Flux? Why choose Ravencoin? So I have my own reasons, and again, everything here should not be construed as financial advice. Everyone's got to have a different situation. Your cards are going to be different depending on the manufacturer, so your overclockings, like, not one card, in my opinion, is all the same unless you get it all from the exact same manufacturer. And even then, you're still going to have a little bit of little margin for error, a little bit of wiggle room as far as, you know, different mining speeds. So with Ravencoin, you know, you got to look at particularly what I look at when I'm considering what cryptocurrencies that use proof of work that I decide to mine. I try to keep up with the news a little bit. You know, I try to stay on certain Discords or certain forums, watching YouTube videos, kind of looking at the feasibility, and I'm also drawing it from my own experiences. Now, so you see that I've only been mining Ravencoin from about the 10th to the 21st. 22nd today. You again haven't been paid out yet, but it's going to. So keep in mind, this is also me not being super consistent. This is a period of me, turning it off, not mining Ravencoin, using my laptop and my 1080 to, mine Flux, try out Ergo a little bit, maybe mine some Ethereum. So I'll say this. Why am I not doing, say, Ethereum? Right? Well, why wouldn't I, based on what the mine says here, I could potentially be earning a little more doing Ethereum as opposed to, Ravencoin or anything else, right? So I think that's a good idea, right? Mining Ethereum. There's a lot of people that do this. Obviously one of the most popular networks, probably second to Bitcoin, and definitely a little more accessible to people who are maybe not doing ASIC mining, maybe just doing GPU mining, because that's, to my understanding, the main way you're going to be able to really effectively mine Bitcoin is usually with ASIC miners. However, with Ethereum, I have a few gripes, and typically what it has to do with is the payout limits. Now, if you ever have mined Ethereum before, and actually what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll show you one of my other pools here for Ethereum, and I use 2 miners. So on Ethereum, again, I have an unpaid balance of 0.0006, right? Now, as far as my shares, it's not really showing a lot of records. I don't have any payouts or anything of that like yet. Now, here is my rewards. I have only earned some rewards on the 7th and on the 8th of this month. Didn't earn a lot. Now, I believe the payout limit, it doesn't show here. It shows, actually it does. It shows right here, if 1 Ethereum has been reached, you get a payout. In order for me to get 1 Ethereum, in order to do this, in order to get 1 Ethereum and get paid out, it would take me quite a while. I think, especially with the hardware that I have just starting out, it would take quite a while before I even see any kind of money going into my wallet. But I'll tell you what, if I get a whole Ethereum, that's a couple $3,000, maybe at the end of the year with everything running 24/7 throughout the year, I think maybe I can get an Ethereum. However, I'm a little impatient. I like to have my payouts. This is just going to be sitting here. They just got a little free hash power. This is just kind of going to be sitting here until I can actually get a little more something that will actually, be substantial. Maybe get a bigger rig that it will be able to mine me. Maybe Ethereum more common basis or a more frequent basis. Maybe actually I'll be able to get a payout a little more frequently. Maybe at that point in time, we'll revisit Ethereum. We also know that Ethereum is going to be moving away from proof of work to proof of stake with its Ethereum 2.0. I think it's coming out in 2022. Now, I don't know how delayed that'll be because, we've heard a lot of news with Ethereum in the past. They haven't always been timely with delivering new rollouts or anything like that. Again, however, that waits to be seen. But again, for right now, given my current situation, Ethereum is just not the best one for me personally. Now, okay, so we'll move away from Ethereum for a little bit. JL, why don't we go ahead and just do, what's the next one on the list? Flux. Flux is the other one I'm pretty familiar with. Flux would be pretty decently profitable. Why don't I use Flux instead? So with Flux, I actually mine that a decent little bit. Again, let me try to find my pool here. Again, I believe, yeah, here it is. I also use 2 miners for this one as well. So with this one, I've actually been paid a little bit. I'm getting 40 Flux, right? Now, again, the payout limits are lower for this particular cryptocurrency. You got 10 Flux in order to get paid out, and then it's every 2 hours, depending as long as you have that minimum amount in there. So let's take a look at my rewards, what I've gotten. So got 3 to 10. So I've right here you have from the past few days how much Flux I have been rewarded. However, it does go back a little further than this. Let's look at my payout. So I've been mining Flux probably a little bit shortly before the 14th, getting 10, 10, 10 Flux. And again, I think right here would be a probably good interval. With Flux, I'm probably getting a payout every 2 days, every 2 to 3 days. Again, had to turn it on and off in order to mess with a few things, or if I had to use another application, I had to turn off the miner. So again, little room for error, but give or take 2 days in order to get paid out Flux. Flux, again, if you go to CoinMarketCap, I think it was going for about 50 cents, if I'm not mistaken. So right now we're at 45 cents, but it was at about 50 cents when I was earning this. So it's more or less about, on average $5 a day, give or take. Everything in here, it's about 40 Flux. I probably have about $20 worth of Flux. Now, my issue with Flux is that it uses a specific wallet. Now, this is called the Zelcore wallet, I believe. Let me see here. So Zelcore.io. So this is a Zelcore. I actually have the mobile app. Now, why am I not using Flux? Okay, I mean, this is very similar. With Raven, you get paid out every 2 hours as long as you have 10 RVN. It's actually, I'll probably get paid out in RVN a lot more frequently. Again, because it's only about 10 cents. It's only about $1. It won't take long for me to generate about $1 worth of RVN. Maybe get about even up to 2 payouts per day, depending on how much I can really kind of get going through here. So, I mean, I get paid out more or less the same as far as frequency, as opposed to twice a day or, once every 2 days. I mean, they're pretty not too far in between. So why don't I use that? Well, again, I downloaded Zelcore, and just my personal use, I tried using the app. It runs a little slow. It's a little sluggish, and it seems like a somewhat simplistic kind of wallet. Now, keep in mind, I use Trust Wallet for a lot of my, again, just regular other crypto holdings. I held XRP on my Trust Wallet. That's actually where my RVN goes to, is my Trust Wallet. So I see it right when it goes on my phone. Trust Wallet is super easy to use and uses a few different DEXs and DApps. I like it a lot. Trying to use Zelcore's wallet and trying to communicate and stuff like that, it wasn't as easy. And again, it also really kind of turns down to as far as liquidity. And what I mean by that is what is being hosted on exchanges. If I want to go and I want to take my profits out right now, as soon as I get paid out, whatever, my $10, like for 20 Flux, whatever it is, what exchanges can I go on to? Well, if we look up Flux, like where to purchase Flux, so let's take a look here really quick. My Flux. So, and if I'm not, let's do crypto instead. So, with Flux, I believe there's only one exchange, and for the life of me, I cannot remember where you can buy it. Maybe Coinbase has it. KuCoin apparently. I mean, there's a little video here. However, it's definitely not as easy. So ultimately, it's a little bit of user friendliness and trying to use something that's a little more accessible. So again, my Trust Wallet goes right to my Trust Wallet whenever I do Raven. I had the option to pick Flux on Trust Wallet. However, whenever I tried originally mining, because again, it's a multi-coin wallet, so usually it's the same address. And whenever I would try to go ahead and mine Ravencoin on that particular wallet, or Flux rather, I'm sorry, try to put Flux on my Trust Wallet, the miner actually was not responding. You're saying it was an invalid address. So I think, again, Zelcore Wallet is really one of the only ways to kind of be able to mine Flux, and to where I don't think Flux will be the worst project out there or that it'll be bad. I think I'm going to wait a little longer until maybe this wallet improves, maybe until it's listed on a few other exchanges. Because I actually do think, based on some stuff I've read about it, which you can go over on another video, it has some good uses. And it again has a good. The market cap on that is growing every day. It's about the 400 to 420 top market cap or something like that. Not super impressive, but again, it's growing, and so this is definitely Flux is one to keep an eye on for sure. But for the purposes of mining, in order to be able to easily kind of get any Raven or any of my profits, should I decide to do so. I just like having that. So again, I get paid out a little more on Raven a little more frequently. It's a little easier to use, and ultimately it goes right to my trust wallet. And if I want to, I can always send it to, I have Binance.us, and I think there's even a few other exchanges that use RVN, or that where you can exchange your RVN for whatever else, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDT or something. And I like that. However, I'm a hodler. I'm just probably going to very most likely keep it on my trust wallet. The other reason being is that really with Ravencoin, I know, especially with a lot of proof of works, if it follows what Bitcoin did, it usually follows a halving method to where essentially even for us miners, the payouts would be less, but I mean, I think the value should more or less be the same because, again, the coin's value at some point should go up. Again, I might be completely wrong. If we all knew what the prices were going to be, we wouldn't worry about any of this or all the speculation. RVN can go completely belly up. So again, gotta do your due diligence. This is obviously, again, never construe any of this as financial advice because that is definitely not the case. Again, just offering my perspective, showing you what I'm dealing with. So again, RVN works for me for the purpose of this video and kind of monitoring profits over the course of now, probably until the end of October. I'm strictly going to go ahead and right now stick with RVN. Now, as we go along, I may or may not be able to get additional GPUs in between that time. Maybe I can add on to it. But for right now, I think where I'm going to be at is kind of sticking with my 1050 Ti, my 1060, and my 1080 to mine Ravencoin. So we finally gone over everything there as far as why I'm choosing Ravencoin over anything else. Again, everyone is going to apply your own situation. You're probably going to have better luck mining Ethereum, or maybe something a little more profitable. If you have a little more knowledge, maybe you have a lot more GPUs at your disposal to mine that stuff and get more daily payouts. This just what happens to work for me. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're actually going to go ahead and move away from this, and we're actually going to go ahead and see what we got as far as adding this GPU, this 1050 Ti. So we'll turn this off. We're actually going to go ahead, we'll take a quick look and show you where the, what I have, this little slot that we have available. And then, yeah, we'll add the 1050 Ti to our build. We will see what kind of hash rates I can get. I'll kind of try to fiddle with Afterburner and see what I can do as far as overclocking and see what we can get this settled out at. So I will see you guys in just a little bit.
Alrighty, guys. So here we are. We got the little build opened up. We got right here the 1080 Ti. And let's go ahead and show you really quick before we get started. Right in there, I got that extra X16 slot. Think I got enough room in there. Think we can go ahead and fit another graphics card in here. So that is just what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get this graphics card, this 1050 Ti that's in this box. We have our PCI cable that I had gotten in here recently. I'm going to get that in here. Let's take a look at this. Alright, there she is. She's still in, actually this is the box in the bag that the original 1080 came in, because again, I had bought this 1050 Ti. So I had bought this 1050 Ti when I had first gotten this. There we go. We got the 1050 Ti right there. So when I had first, got my original computer, this is what came with it. I eventually got the 1080 Ti and switched it up and replaced it. This guy has been in storage ever since. However, I mean, if we can get something out of this, we can get some good hash rates, even just a little bit extra. I mean, it can't hurt, of course, right? So let's go ahead and get this guy in here. And remember, like always, guys, safety is important. These GPUs are very expensive, so you never want to ruin them. So just be sure right now, I got my static wrist strap on, okay? Goes, and you always attach that to some sort of metal to ground. Particularly, that is something I have to worry about. If you can't tell here, I have carpeting. If you have carpeting, you have to worry about static. And if you accidentally do a little static shock, maybe on one of these nodes or on these graphics cards on the wrong place, anywhere on your computer, Mobo, or anything else, really, You can short it out. It can cause damage, sometimes fixable, sometimes not. Best not to tempt fate. But yeah, be sure to be safe. And again, we will be back in a few minutes once we go ahead and pop this bad boy in here. Alrighty, guys, and we are back. Now, just so you can take a look here. Oh, you know what? I am going to get you some better lighting. It's hard to see, but we do in fact have our 1080 and our 1050 Ti both hooked up here. Having the fans run on 100% now because I'm going to go ahead and fiddle with some of the overclock settings. Some of the initial readings on our hash rate, again, looks like about 5.99 mega hashes per second. Now, the 1050 Ti, according to what to mine, should be right around 6.10 mega hashes per second. So we're pretty much there. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to fiddle with some of the overclocking settings. And then I will come right back to you guys, show you what's going on there. And we'll be there in a second. Alrighty, guys. We are back now. So, we got the 1050. The Ti, we got that all set up. I've been letting this run for a little over an hour and a half now. Just trying to make sure things are evening out, trying to mess with the overclock settings. Looks like we're more or less about to get as good as we're really going to get as it is now. So just so you can see where we are at, pardon me. So we got the 1050 Ti running at about 6.6 mega hashes per second. And then we got the 1080 Ti running at about 16.38 mega hashes per second. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to go to what to mine. Now I already got these two selected so we can kind of see the combined rates and everything. So what we got here, based on just base values, what they both should typically be like. Kawpow, this is our algorithm, should be around 23 mega hashes per second, about 240 watts. And actually, we're pretty close to there. About 23 mega hashes per second cumulative, about 238 watts. So very marginally, but ever so slightly better, ever so slightly more efficient than what Kawpow usually says we should be at right now. Now, if we look at the number of rewards for each of these, obviously Flux is still kind of at the top there with $3.10. If we're looking at Ravencoin, we're at about $2.36. And again, this is not accounting for after our, electric costs or anything like that. This is just pure, generated profit through, that full day, not profit but rather the full amount you just generate in a day or 24-hour period. So about $2.36 for Ravencoin, $3.10 for Flux. So again, looking pretty good so far. Now, just keep in mind that cumulative, we also still have our 1060 Ti, or not the Ti rather, but just the other 1060, the laptop. So let's actually go ahead now that we compared these two running now. Let's see what happens when we get our 1060 and see where we should be at cumulative. So Kawpow says we should be at about 32 mega hashes per second, about 330 watts. And as we know, we already know here that we have our cumulative number right now of about 23 mega hashes and about 238 watts. I got updated a little bit, still about right around there. Now these still may fluctuate because keep in mind, the 1080 actually I've noticed, when it comes to the 1080, again, whenever I did not have the 1050 Ti installed, it was only one on the motherboard and the only one taking from the power supply. The 1080 was running right around 18 to 19 mega hashes per second. And I think it was about 168 watts. So the efficiency was more or less the same, but it was still running out a little more hash rate, a little bit more there. Now, again, don't get me wrong with the 1050 Ti cumulative. We're still over, over 20 mega hashes per second. That's more than just a T80 alone, which is good. But obviously, we still got a little bit to learn, or rather, I still have a little bit to learn regarding wattage and how maybe that takes away from each other. I may try fiddling with this a little more, again, because we're not quite reaching the threshold, at least maybe on one of these, for how much I can overclock this. Maybe I can squeeze a little more processing power, maybe out of the 1080. I really haven't hit too much of a threshold. If I look at the 1050 Ti, I don't want to touch. I think the 1050 Ti is staying where it's going to stay. I think, again, if I overclock it any more than where I have it now, it's not going to be stable. It's not going to really hold up, and I'll probably even get some stale or invalid shares if I screwed up too much. So I won't mess the 1050 anymore. But however, again, the 1080 settings are currently how they were when the 1080 was on the motherboard alone. So I still may have room for adjusting this. So there might even be room for this hash rate to grow even just a little bit. Maybe get it originally where we would expect it. Now, so the only other thing I want to see is exactly how many hashes and how many how much wattage are we using cumulative. So if you can recall here, we have about 8.3, 8.4 mega hashes per second and 78 watts for the 1060, which is the gaming laptop that has a 1060 inside it. So let's go ahead and actually get the hash rate together first. So we obviously have, I'll even just say 8.3, just to have that, and then we're going to go ahead and I'll add our other 23 mega hashes per second. So about 31.3, give or take. Again, kawpow says we should be right around 32 mega hashes per second. So not too far off from what this is expecting. Again, some of the capability to really overclock is a little limited right now. Maybe we got to be able to put out a little more power. Again, based on just the cumulative hash rate, or the cumulative wattage here, about 238 watts. Again, I have a I believe it's a 750 or 850 watt power supply, and between those two cards putting out 239 watts, I don't think that the rest of the computer is going to be taking up that much wattage, or certainly at least not 80% of that. So I think we should be good there. I might still even have room for that reason to, move that wattage up a little bit, or try to fiddle with the overclocking just a little bit more and see if I can't increase this overall speed. Now, the only other thing I want to consider, of course, is how many watts we're using cumulative. So for the other one, for the laptop, we had about, we had about 78. And then we got 238 here. So about 316 watts is where we're sitting. It's saying we should be sitting right around 330. So, I mean, check my math, but that seems like we're doing pretty good efficiency-wise. So ultimately, let's take a look and see how much we should be earning a day. About $3.25 a day, according to what this says here, with everything all together. Now, if I want to actually maybe go ahead and let's say I want to disregard all of these and just go ahead and put in what kawpow, with my numbers that we just kind of calculated there. So what was it? Maybe 31 and a half. And we were about maybe 319 watts, I believe, 316 watts. And we're still 11 cents kilowatt per hour. So now we should be right around $3.19 per day. So that's kind of where we sit now. So we have all those things running. We have, again, they have the 1050 Ti, we got the 1060 in the laptop, and then we got the 1080. And there still may be even a little more room for growth. And I believe I've done these calculations right. Again, I'm still learning with what to mine. If I'm making any kind of mistakes, or maybe not considering something as far as these calculations, guys, please let me know. Of course, we're all learning as we go along here, me particularly. So that being said, that should just about do it for now. We are going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and let this sit now. Let these really just work over the course of the next month. Again, we'll try to keep an update video probably right around October. Just kind of take it from there at the end of October, what this eventually comes to look like. And again, still maybe try to fiddle within the next week, try to fiddle with the overclock settings a little bit. See if we can't squeeze a few extra hashes out of there, maybe make this stretch out a little more from there. That being said, guys, I don't think we have anything else. Let me move over to our camera here. All right, guys, so we are... Well, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully this sound is a little better. So, yeah, you guys saw all the statistics there, all the rates where we're going with. So it looks like, again, just very round out, about 30 hashes, mega hashes per second, kind of running all three. The 1050 Ti, the 1060 laptop right behind me, and then the 1080 on the same rig as the 1050 Ti. Again, we'll kind of see how this next month pans out as far as our profits, see what our electric use kind of looks like a little bit more down the road. And again, as we're going along, we're going to try to see how the next month looks for me personally, to see how well, if at all, I'm able to expand, maybe start actually looking into getting the base for the actual, maybe in actually making a rig. Probably going to try to look for a rig so that we can start mining Ethereum on a more consistent basis. So that being said, if you guys have any suggestions for anything you saw today, I know it wasn't maybe the most informative. If you're watching my videos, you probably already got a good idea of mining and a few other things, so maybe there wasn't something that taught you so particularly new, but I hope that, you know, showing what I have, what I'm currently working with, hopefully that offered a little bit of perspective. If you guys have any suggestions based on maybe the overclock settings, maybe against maybe some of the power issues I was running into after I hooked up the 1050 Ti, if you guys got a little bit of know-how, please feel free, give me a little bit of a lesson, to tell me down in the comments. Hey, you know, try doing this, that, or the other. I'm more than happy to try some stuff out. I love getting the feedback from everyone because you guys certainly know a lot more than I do when it comes to this sort of thing. That being said, trying to see if we can't release a video in the next, you know, after right around the end of October, kind of see what those October, you know, what we're able to really extract out of this. And again, I'm going to also fiddle with the overclock settings on the 1080 now that we hooked up the 1050 Ti to it. You know, we might be able to even get a little bit of extra hash power out of that. But that being said, guys, listen, it's a little late. I do appreciate you sticking along. I know this is a very long, kind of drawn out video, just a lot of yammering away, but if I showed you something, maybe something new, or, you know, anything else you didn't know before, or maybe this offered a little bit of perspective, anything you can do to support me, just smashing that like button, you know, subscribing so you can kind of see these future videos, you know, hit that notification bell so anytime I release anything new you can see it. And again, as regards to consistency on these videos, we'll try to get them out as you know, maybe at a little more frequent scheduled basis once we really get things up and running. This is going to kind of be hit or miss for the next month or so in the very least. I'll try to see what I can't do. Maybe about getting a video about just the laptop, maybe just going over a few small things, having a few small videos. That being said, guys, listen, thank you so much again for joining me on my channel. We're just learning and growing as we go along. Hopefully you guys will learn and grow along with me, or even teach me a few things. So, like always, please be well, always do your homework, and I do hope you get lucky. You guys take care and have a good night.